There's a plant sitting in your grandmother's backyard right now that pharmaceutical companies have been quietly studying for decades. It survives droughts that kill tomatoes. It thrives in soil so poor that weeds give up. And hidden inside its leaves is a compound so powerful that ancient healers called it the plant of immortality. Yet walk into any garden center today, and they'll look at you like you're crazy if you ask for it by name. Not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well in ways the gardening industry can't package and sell. This is the story of a plant that's been growing medicine for 6,000 years, costs almost nothing to maintain, and could transform your garden from a struggling plot into a self-sufficient ecosystem. A plant so useful, it was nearly forgotten. Its name is purslane. Welcome to American Heritage Gardens, where we uncover the powerful plants hiding in plain sight, the ones industrial agriculture hoped you'd never remember. Purslane doesn't look like much at first glance. It's just a low-growing succulent with thick, jade-colored leaves and tiny yellow flowers. The kind of plant most people rip out and toss in the compost without a second thought. But that humble appearance hides something remarkable. This is one of the most nutrient-dense plants you can grow. We're not talking about modest vitamins here. We're talking about a botanical powerhouse that puts your expensive superfoods to shame. Purslane contains more omega-3 fatty acids than almost any other leafy green on Earth. The same essential fats found in salmon and flaxseed. They're packed into these soft, succulent leaves. Just 1 cup gives you more omega-3 south than most fish oil supplements. But it doesn't stop there. Purslane, loaded with vitamins A, C, and E. It contains magnesium, calcium, potassium, and iron. And here's where it gets interesting. It produces betaine antioxidants, the same rare compounds found in beets that give them their deep color and their reputation as a healing food. But what truly sets purslane apart, what makes scientists keep coming back to it, is its mucilage. That slightly slimy texture you feel when you chew the leaves. That's a natural gel that soothes inflammation, supports gut health, and helps your body absorb nutrients more efficiently. Ancient Greek physicians knew this. They used purslane to treat everything from digestive issues to fevers. Traditional Chinese medicine has prescribed it for over 2,000 years. And across the Middle East and Mediterranean, it's still a staple green, eaten fresh, cooked, pickled, and celebrated. This isn't some trendy superfood invented by a marketing team. This is a plant with a medicinal resume that stretches back to the pyramids. And it grows like a weed, because technically, that's what we've been calling it. Hook 2. Purslane never stopped growing. It never became rare or endangered. In fact, it's one of the most successful plants on the planet, growing wild on every continent except Antarctica. So why don't we see it in stores? Why isn't it sitting next to the kale and arugula at your local market? Because it refused to cooperate with the system. Modern agriculture demands control. Crops need to grow in straight rows, ripen on schedule, and ship across the country without wilting. They need to look perfect under fluorescent lights and last 4 weeks in a refrigerator. Purslane doesn't do any of that. Its leaves are delicate. They bruise easily. They wilt quickly once picked. And the plant itself, it sprawls, it spreads, it seeds itself aggressively and pops up wherever it pleases. You can't mechanize its harvest without destroying half the crop. You can't breed it into submission without losing the very traits that make it valuable. And there's another problem. It's free. Walk into almost any garden, any sidewalk crack, any patch of disturbed soil in summer, and you'll find purslane already growing. You don't need to buy seeds. You don't need special soil or fertilizers. You don't even need to water it much. It just appears. That's a nightmare for an industry built on selling solutions. So instead of celebrating this plant, we labeled it. We called it a weed. We told gardeners to pull it out, spray it down, remove it before it takes over. We framed its resilience as a threat rather than a gift. Nothing about purslane changed. It's the same plant ancient Greeks ate for health and vitality. But the context shifted, and in a food system that profits from scarcity and dependence, A plant that grows itself for free is dangerous. So it was forgotten, not erased, just ignored, left to grow wild in the margins, while we spent billions importing superfoods from across the globe. If this is making you rethink what you've been pulling out of your garden, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. We're bringing back the plants that were too powerful to stay popular. And trust me, this story gets even better. Even if you wanted to grow purslane commercially, you'd hit a wall fast. Not because it's difficult to grow, it's one of the easiest plants on earth, but because the traits that make it a survivor make it a nightmare for industrial farming. Purslane is a warm season annual. It germinates fast, grows low to the ground, and spreads through both seeds and stem fragments. Break off a piece and toss it on moist soil. It'll root. One plant can produce over 50,000 seeds, and those seeds can stay dormant in the soil for decades, waiting for the right conditions. That's incredible for a gardener practicing permaculture. It's a disaster for monoculture farming. You can't control when it sprouts. You can't predict its yield. And because the leaves are so tender and water-rich, they don't store well. They need to be eaten fresh or preserved quickly, frozen, pickled, or dried. Then there's the perception problem. For generations, we've been taught that purslane is something to remove. It shows up in garden guides under common weeds. Herbicide companies list it as a target species, and homeowners are told that a healthy lawn is one where purslane has been eradicated. We've built an entire cultural narrative around getting rid of this plant, and reversing that narrative, that takes more than science. It takes a shift in how we see food itself, because purslane doesn't fit the grocery store model. It fits the backyard model, the community garden model, the grow what you eat and eat what you grow model. And that model doesn't scale. It empowers. Hook 3. But here's the thing about powerful plants. They don't need permission to come back. Right now, quietly, without fanfare or funding, purslane is being rediscovered, not by corporations or agricultural departments, but by home gardeners, foragers, herbalists, and small-scale growers who are tired of depending on a food system that keeps them powerless. In urban gardens and suburban backyards, people are letting purslane grow. They're harvesting it in summer, adding it to salads, smoothies, and stir-fries. They're drying the leaves for tea and pickling the stems like capers. At farmers markets, bundles of fresh purslane are showing up next to heirloom tomatoes and edible flowers. Chefs at farm-to-table restaurants are featuring it on menus, celebrating its tangy, lemony flavor and its satisfying crunch. And online, a growing community is sharing knowledge, how to identify it, how to harvest it sustainably, how to save seeds, how to encourage it to grow where you want it and manage it when it gets too enthusiastic. This isn't a trend driven by influencers or ad campaigns. This is a grassroots resurrection, a quiet rebellion against the idea that food has to come from far away, cost a fortune, and arrive wrapped in plastic. People are remembering that the best food doesn't need a supply chain. It just needs soil, sun, and a little bit of rain. And purslane, it's proving that the most powerful plants were never the ones we domesticated. They're the ones that never needed us in the first place. Purslane didn't disappear because it failed us. It disappeared because it succeeded in ways the modern food system couldn't monetize. It grows without permission. It heals without prescriptions. It feeds without fertilizers. And it costs absolutely nothing. But free doesn't build empires. Free doesn't fill quarterly reports. So they called it a weed and told us to pull it out. But weeds have a way of coming back. Not with marketing campaigns, but with roots, with resilience, with the quiet defiance of those who know that real food doesn't come from a store, it comes from the soil beneath your feet. If you've ever felt that something's been lost in our modern food system, you're right. And every plant you allow to grow, every seed you choose not to spray is an act of remembering. This is American Heritage Gardens, where we grow what the system wants you to forget. If this video opened your eyes to what's been hiding in your own backyard, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to stop fighting their garden and start learning from it. because the future of food isn't sterile, sanitized, or controlled. It's wild, it's free, and sometimes it's growing in the cracks of your driveway right now.